This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, October 18th, 2006, and this is episode number 167 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from MGMstudios.org. On today's show is my best friend in the whole wide world, Len Testa, co-author of the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
Don't lie, Matt. Don't hate. Don't hate. Hey, you know, we're 1/6 of a way to 1,000 shows.
Woohoo!
Whatever that means. Yeah, whatever.
That's our new shirt, 1/6, baby. We also have Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome, Mike.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
And we have the oldest man in podcasting today, Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
Wait a minute, let me get my teeth in. Hold on.
I was telling that Marconi guy that this thing is all going to work out.
Watson, come here. I need you.
I need you.
All right, where was I? Okay.
Ahoy!
Podcast opening number. Okay, here it is. Nothing is rehearsed. There is no script. We don't know what will happen, but we do know one thing: you will be there, Undercover Live.
All right, Drew Carey. That was a good one.
Dangerous, yeah.
Ooh.
It's Wednesday. We're answering listener questions, and our first comes from Steve Medina, who I think is from Miami area, somewhere in South Florida.
That's my buddy Steve. I saw him last week.
Well, what a coincidence, Mike. He wrote in. And he wrote,
Back
hey
in
guys,
July.
just a heads up on the earlier...
Can you please ask Mike to give me back my wallet? I'm stuck in Orlando and can't fly home.
Just a heads up on an earlier question I had. I wrote in a couple weeks ago about whether several trips worth of photos could be stored on the same PhotoPass and purchased for $99. Well, the answer is yes. I went into mid-September to Walt Disney World and put over 85 photos on my PhotoPass. My girls did the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique thingy, and there was a photographer there snapping tons of photos of the girls. So thanks, Steve, for letting us know about that. He also writes, by the way, there was a Scopa sighting at Epcot on Saturday. Well, actually, he spotted me wearing my Walt Disney World Today t-shirt and promptly introduced himself. He then stole my wallet. No, wait. He got one of his world-famous Scopa Towers buttons, which I proudly wore throughout the rest of our vacation. My wife and I truly enjoyed meeting him. Unfortunately, I was with my kids and who don't understand the magnitude of being such an icon. My wife took a photo, which I will be posting soon. Once again, thanks to you guys for all the wonderful podcasts, and thank you, Mike, for making our most recent trip that much more memorable.
Oh my God, did you pay for a stay, Mike? What the heck? Jeez.
Well, we were going to go over to have a Scopa special, but, you know, food and wine, Saturday, forget it, we couldn't get in.
Yeah.
Our next email is from Monique from Massachusetts, who writes, hello all. I love the podcast. Keep up the great work. I do have a question that I thought you might be able to answer. I've been trying to remember where the song Making Memories came from.
Making memories.
I know it was in Journey into Imagination Pavilion, but for the life of me, I can't remember where. Do you remember?
Little pieces of time.
It was the pre-show.
Making it yours.
Was
Making
the-
it mine.
Was that the pre-show to Captain EO?
No, it was
Or was
the
that the
pre-show
pre-show
to...
No,
Imagination?
it was
It
definitely
was the
in
pre-show to the film...
the
3D film.
Yeah,
Magic
the
Journeys?
Magic Journeys.
Magic Journeys.
Oh, man.
Oh, for real.
Me, 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 me.
And that was on the 91 official album.
Making memories.
Making
pictures of-
memories. Taking pictures.
I think I have a video of that.
Making memories. Oh, the irony of that.
Capturing every
Yeah, but I think it was
pieces
from
of
I think it was from the
Making
Magic Journeys
Making
film.
them mine.
We have I'm sure Newell has a copy of the audio on MP3, but it's also on the 1991 official album if you wanted to look on eBay. Monique.
Good tune.
Good tip. Our next email comes from James, who writes, my family and I will be down at Walt Disney World during the time of the Christmas parade. We'll be taping for television, but we have no desire to be part of the taping. Good idea, James.
Smart.
My question is, will the rest of the Magic Kingdom be accessible, or is it better to avoid the park on those days? Will the park be filled to the max everywhere, or will it only be crowded on Main Street? Len, it was really only crowded on Main Street, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
remember we
Main
were all
Street.
there last week, right? It was
Last week,
Last
Len?
week?
Last week.
last year.
Scopa was there last
It
week.
just seems so long ago. Yeah.
Last week.
Whew.
No, I mean, the rest of the park was pretty empty.
Yeah, the thing is that they
It
you
does
hear all
fall
these
off
stories
Main
about crowds getting in for free and people getting in for free to be extras for the show for the parade taping. and makes it sound like it's worse than it is. But keep in mind that those people are stuck in a small section of Main Street until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and that really cuts down on the crowds. I mean, Matt, you and I were in Fantasyland like at 10:30, 11 o'clock, and it wasn't bad at all. I mean, it was
Nope, not at all.
no. I mean, there was barely a wait for what did we ride? Snow White.
Snow
a bunch
White
of
about
times, right?
50 times, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. And we walked through Tomorrowland.
50 times.
We rode a bunch.
54. What's the difference?
Whatever. And then we went over to Buzz, and I recall like around at
Not a real
noon,
witch,
Buzz
man.
Lightyear
It's
still
not a
only
real
had
witch.
like a 20-25 minute wait. So I don't think that was it was too bad. Again, it's usually on a Saturday. Saturdays aren't bad in the Magic Kingdom. The fact that Main Street, you do have to walk around sort of on the sidewalks of Main Street. You can't walk down the middle because that's where the people are going to be, the crowd's going to be. But they're all penned up, so that actually serves to throttle people through, throttle the crowds from getting back into the park. So I think that actually helps out a little bit.
And
I wouldn't worry about it.
James has another question for Len. Also, I would love to get your thoughts on crowd sizes during the time period on which we are going down to Disney, which will be the week of November 29th to December 6th. Thanks. Keep up the great work.
Thanks. Two things we would have to worry about there. One is Pop Warner, which starts December 4th and is about 28,000 people in Walt Disney World because it's held at Wide World of Sports. The other thing you would have to worry about is there's a Performance Racing Industries conference. It's thankfully outside of Walt Disney World. It's at the convention center, but it's got like 40,000 people.
And
So it's quite a few people there.
And of course, if you have any crowd, if you want to know what the crowds are going to be like, I will shamelessly plug Len's crowd calendar on touringplans.com, which we'll put a link in the show notes too.
Great.
Our next email is from Joe Mrazek of Lake Zurich, Illinois, who writes, "Hello, gents. As a relatively new listener to the program, I really appreciate the information. I have a question, if I may." No, you may not. We are heading
Yes,
to
yes,
Walt
you may.
Disney World soon. One night at Scopa Towers, then to Boardwalk for the week. He's been a DVC member since 1997.
Cool.
His 4-year-old son completed his first pin trade last March when they were on a 7-day cruise. Since then, his interest has been growing, as to my expenditures. I've been stockpiling pins from
Exactly.
eBay and personal traders to use as trade bait when we get to the parks. The kid hasn't met a Buzz Lightyear or Incredibles pin he doesn't like. I purchased a small group of pins that I fear might be counterfeits. They're stamped with Disney on the back, but also Sedesma's, and the color seems a bit off. Have you seen these before, or do you know if any of these are authentic Disney pins?
What does it say besides Disney on the back?
He wrote Sedesma's. He made a note that says he might not be spelled correctly.
Spell it.
Sedesmas.
It's
Well-
a Disney, but the color's off. Did he say what kind of pins there are?
No, he just says a group of them.
Where did he buy them at?
It sounds like
Where
eBay. He didn't say exactly where.
eBay.
See, eBay. Here's the thing. I mean, we've done really nice enamel pins from USA Pin for Mousefest before, and a decent-sized Disney pin it runs anywhere between $1.25 and $2.25 to make when you're making a couple hundred at a time. So yeah, it's possible to counterfeit them, but
I don't think the counterfeit market in China for Disney pins is pretty big.
yeah. Well, here's the thing though. If you wanted to counterfeit them and sell the counterfeits on eBay, you could do 100, make an investment of about $300, and all you have to do is sell them for more than $3 each. You could conceivably do that. Now, obviously, the first time that happens, you're looking at a free trip to Leavenworth, courtesy of the U.S. government, after I'm sure a public and humiliating trial by Disney.
Which is similar to being penned up for the Christmas parade.
Yeah, exactly. First they send you the Christmas parade, then you're off to Leavenworth. Exactly right. So, I mean, it's conceivable that people could do it. I mean, certainly the technology exists, and you'd have to get someone who knows how to make an enamel pin to go along with you. It's possible. I just doubt it. I mean, it could just be that the production runs are off, or maybe the pin was left in the sunlight or something, and the colors faded. I would probably go with that first. But I would whatever writing is on the back of the pin, go ahead and type it into Google and see what happens.
Joe also has another question, or statement rather. He says, Mike Scopa, your article on Mouse Planet from August 18th, Share the Magic, was fantastic. Our family visits Walt Disney World or the cruise line every year. I can't tell you how many times I've received the "didn't you go last year" question. I can wholeheartedly agree with the Disney Zone concept, as we'll be entertaining it this Friday when we board the Magical Express bus. Based on information from the past Walt Disney World Today episodes, no, I haven't done or seen it all. Thanks for the read. I forwarded it on to my family. If you guys are going to be at Boardwalk sometime soon, stop in the ESPN Club. I'll be the one decked out in the Chicago Bear clothes, rooting for the Bears to beat the Seahawks. I'll buy you a beer.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
He also writes, P.S. If we experience or witness any activity with the Million of Year Dreams contest, I'll drop you a note. Hopefully my family and I will pass Christina's ugly claws.
That's awesome. Make sure the hair is done. What, you're wearing that to the parks? That's awesome.
Our next email is from Don, who writes, My daughter will be joining us at Walt Disney World this December from college in Pensacola, Florida. Knowing her as I do, with no malice intended, it would not be entirely inaccurate to say she sometimes has difficulty finding her way out of a paper bag. Only words from a father.
How often does she get placed in that paper bag, Don? I think some people from social services might want to talk to you.
Can you provide directions from Florida's Turnpike to All-Star Movies using the new Western Way route? Exit numbers will be most helpful.
Google Maps. Matt, can we post the address? I have the address of the All-Star Resorts. Can we post
Sure.
Post it on Google Maps?
I will definitely do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Google Maps is I like Google Maps quite a bit, and then I also like MapQuest for driving directions. The trick is to know what the addresses of the resorts are, but that's on touringplans.com.
Our next email is from Ryan from Groton, Connecticut, who writes, Dear guys, I think he means exuberant, but anyway, Dear Walt Disney World fellows, I know that Matt recently visited Walt Disney World for the Not So Scary Party, and Scopa is the master of this event. So, could you guys help me out? I will be attending the October 31st party this year and was hoping for a quick touring plan. My party consists of me, my wife, late 20s, my wife's parents, mid-50s, and we want to catch the parade, Hallowishes, Haunted Mansion, Pirates, Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, and find some not-so-scary souvenirs. We are worried we won't have enough time. We can skip the dance parties and the character meet and greets, except maybe the villains. And we need your expertise.
If you're getting there, go ahead, Scope. I know what you're going to say.
No, I was going to say he missed one more, and that was there's a show that's at the it's on the castle stage that is shown, I think, 3 times during
the villains
the night.
thing?
That's the villains thing.
Yeah, the mingle. Oh, did he mention that?
He said maybe he won't skip that. He might actually go to that. He said.
I mean, that's a short 10, 12-minute show, so that's probably worth it. Well, one of the things that always have to be careful when you go to one of these parties is you have to be careful that you don't get too involved in trying to get in as many attractions as possible, because what happens is that you forfeit your ability, especially on Halloween night, to get in a good spot to A, see the parade, B, see the fireworks, and D, get the candy, although there's plenty of candy on Halloween, that's for sure. But getting in line and going through the lines, especially Mad Hatter's Candy Lane in Toontown, that goes from Toontown to Tomorrowland. That's a real problem. The big problem is that he's going October 31st, and that's probably the most popular.
Yeah, but the thing that's going to balance that out, Mike, I mean, it's a Tuesday night and it's a school night, so.
Well, yeah, the locals won't be there. I just, yeah, you're probably right, but and I don't know if they have a cap on that. I thought there was a cap of 25,000.
Well, if he's got tickets, though, he's cool. I mean, here's the thing. He wants to see Hallowishes, right? And he wants to see the parade, right?
Yep.
I mean, Scopa.
And then do some attractions.
And then a couple of... All right, so Scopa, so the advice you gave me when we did the touring plans for the site, because we have not so scary touring plans on the site. What Scopa said essentially was start and do a clockwise rotation. So start in Adventureland by seeing Pirates, go do Big Thunder. You definitely want to get out of Adventureland by 8 o'clock, because the way the parade route's going to go, it's going to start in Frontierland behind Splash.
That's
going to cut you off. So you definitely want to be out of Adventureland by the time the parade starts. But if you get on the Big Thunder and Splash Mountain side of Frontierland, you're golden, because then no matter what the parade is doing, you can walk along that wooden walkway along the water to get to Haunted Mansion.
Well, Ryan has a question that feeds into that line. He also wants to know, is it better to watch the parade near the Liberty Square Bridge, Horsemen on the Bridge, or Main Street?
I think Scopa's got a better viewing spot than that.
Yeah, a better viewing spot is there's a shortcut that's right around the corner from where the shooting gallery is, Frontierland Shooting Gallery. That's a good spot to see the parade because there are some lights that are specifically set up so that if you want to take photos of the parade characters as they get through that area, you'll really have a great spot. And especially if you want to see this, there's a pirate float in which at the top of the float is a cast member, and he looks just like Jack Sparrow. And I mean, I made sure that I went back for the second showing of the parade because I wanted to take a photo of that cast member. So
and send it all to us on his phone.
Yes, exactly. But
that's right.
That's a good spot.
I think Scopa's last visit to Walt Disney World cost me $100 in text messages charges.
Oh my God!
And also,
I could have flown down there for the cost. Scopa, I love you, but stop.
The other thing is that if you're there if you're there in Frontierland, you really get a good shot of the Headless Horseman because that is a straightaway, and he does trot very well down there. Because when he gets to Liberty Square, he's got to slow down, he's got to make the turn, and he's going to go slow when he gets to the castle, and then he's going to come down Main Street. But for the most part, that's a real good spot to watch the parade. And again, Len, you said, if they start off with Pirates, then they move quickly to Big Thunder and Splash. Excuse me. They could do those three, and they could get in the Haunted Mansion while the first parade is going on. But as soon as they get out of the Haunted Mansion, man, they got to make a dash for Main Street so they can watch the fireworks, because if you don't watch the fireworks from in front of the castle, you really miss all the special effects.
Well,
and all
it's
the
9:30. I mean 9:30. They could get there at like 9:15. So if they get there at 7, they got 2 hours and a few minutes, right? 2 hours and change.
Yeah. They can't lollygag. They have to go boom, boom, boom. And I
So
wouldn't
2 hours they can
candy at that time.
They can get 4 or 5 attractions in, and plus if they're walking through Adventureland, they can get the candy from the Adventure Friends Treat Encounter, which is around Swiss Family Treehouse. Speaking of the Headless Horseman, did you see that? I have video of him from earlier this year, and going down Main Street, and he's moving. He's not trotting. That horse is not at a gallop, but the horse is moving pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's going to be
that's
an
impressive
E-ride for the cast member. That's going to be.
I mean, exactly, because he can't see anything. But that horse, Scopa, you said it before. That horse really has to know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's been around for like 15, 16
That's
years.
impressive. I wonder if he's union.
Ike. His name is Ike.
Anyway.
First he pulled.
But anyway,
Budweiser
Ryan,
stuff,
yeah,
now
definitely.
he's working.
Ryan, clockwise, start in Adventureland, work your way through, and do the second parade in Wishes. You should be fine.
I got enough time for a quick question from Lori. Doesn't say where she's from, but anyway, she wrote, "I just listened to your podcast about Year of a Million Dream prizes, and a question occurred to me: can you win more than one prize? I mean, if I win one of those wonderful pins, will I then be out of the running for a night in the castle or my personal favorite 220 Disney Vacation Club points? I didn't notice anything about that in the fine print. I realize the odds of me winning anything aren't that great, let alone winning 2 prizes, but I do occasionally win things."
I don't recall seeing it in the rules. There's so many rules to read. I would say, Lori, what you want to do is you want to go to www.disneyparks.com/rules and look through and see if there's any indication that you can win just one. I don't think so, because it's a random kind of a thing, and if you happen to be sitting in the third row of Tower of Terror at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, you're going to get something, and if you just happen to be,
So you heard it, 3 o'clock, third row, Tower of Terror, Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Lori also writes, "Thanks for having Christina on again. I really enjoy listening to your shows. You guys have me laughing out loud during work. Luckily, my boss is understanding about my Disney addiction and allows me to listen while I work."
Awesome. We're going to have her on
And
again. Well, we'll do it. She'll be there for Mouse Fest. She's going to Mouse Fest, so.
Yes, so come meet Christina. You'll have to show ID to prove that you're 18, though, in order to see her.
Exactly. Or bring a parent or guardian.
That's it for us today. If you want to find older episodes, read our show notes, or post your comments, you can visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. You can also email us your questions to questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
No Regis Philbin, no Meredith Vieira, and nobody said that was a bad thing. WDW Today, DisneyWorldTrivia.com, and Mouse World Radio present Disney whiz Lou Mongello and Who Wants to Earn Their Ears, the Disney trivia show where you can win prizes. Tune in to Mouse World Radio 1, Sunday, October 22nd at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific for Who Wants to Earn Their Ears, and visit WDWToday.com for more.